need to prepare for a competitive event, our go-to company is the Army Painter.
Thanks to their complete range of paints, spray cans, and gaming tools, we're able to complete our new armies and units in no time.
When we need to elevate the quality of our models and terrain, the Army Painter is always our first choice.
You may not know this, but the Army Painter has sponsored more competitive events than any other hobby company.
Tournament and wargaming is in their DNA.
Visit thearmypainter.com to learn more about their amazing products.
And use promo code AOW Paints for a 5% discount from your Army Painter purchases.
What are you waiting for? Discover the best way to prepare your models for events with the Army Painter today.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting Art of War edition of Fix My List. It is a Thursday, and on Thursday we fix lists. This is our weekly show where we take 3 lists submitted by our wonderful Warhammer community and, well, it's on the title, we go and fix them, right, Jack?
That is 100% what we do here over at Fix My List. It's kind of our reason for existing. Please don't take this away from me.
This is our sole purpose.
This is it.
What is
the
your
reason
purpose,
I
Jack?
get up in the morning is because it gets me one step closer to fixing a list on Thursday.
There we go. That's the point of every day. And in this episode, we're going to be focusing on Space Marines. There are so many factions of Warhammer 40k that we can't fix them all in one episode. That's why we rotate the topic every month. So if you're a Xenos lover, a heretic, or maybe you like your Imperial Loyalists to wear something besides power armor, well, there will be episodes for you coming up soon.
There absolutely will. Stay tuned. We're on a rotation. I also suspect that CSM will get their own Fix My List soon.
That's probably true. However, I am a Space Marine player and I hate those heretics.
Don't worry, we have a show for you. It's called this one right here, where we fix Space Marine lists.
Perfect, perfect. All right, so if you like our content, make sure you like our content. Liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, telling Jack how handsome he is, complimenting my hair. All of these things are acceptable, or just tell us you like Space Marines in the comment section below. It really helps us grow the channel. And of course, if you want to get even more Art of War content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get notified every time we go live, because we do go live, about 4 times a week with, just little bonus things sometimes. And that's how you get it.
That's how you get it.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that the first thing we should do is tell people how they can get their lists fixed.
That is very important.
So, John, let's say you had a list and you were like, I don't know if this list is any good, or I can't quite take it the last 10%. Any of those questions are...
Maybe you think it's good and you just want a second opinion.
You just want to know. Maybe you want to know what direction to go. Maybe you want to know how to finish off the list. Like it's just not the last bit coming together quite right. There's a lot of reasons one might want their list fixed, but hey, we're here for all of them. So what you do is you want to go down into the link down below, and you want to go to thewarroom.vhx.tv. That's thewarroom.vhx.tv. But that's down in the description down below. There's a 3-day free trial. You can hop in, pop your list over into the Fix My List submissions channel on our Art of War Discord. You can partake in our global community. You can watch our strategy videos on our website, and you can watch 2 more full games per week, just like the one that we have live on YouTube every Wednesday. All right. And yes, Brother Tobias, you can see Handsome Jack, John's Regal Hair, and the Fix My List channel all in one place for a 3-day free trial.
Wow.
Your check is in the mail.
Isn't that something?
Your check is in the mail. So that's what you want to do. If you're already a member, you go to the Fix My List submissions channel in the Discord and pop it in over there. All right. Let's hop into list number 1.
I'm excited for these lists.
So we have a Stormlance Task Force list by Wolflord Russ.
That does tell you what the army is, doesn't it?
Sure does, doesn't it? All right, so Wolflord Russ says, feel I need 2 units of scouts, but don't know what to drop. Yeah, scouts are a pretty good thing to have.
I like those.
Blade Guard with Lieutenant and Ragnar in Land Raider. Logan and Land Raider and Terminators in Deep Strike. 1 Thunderwolf Cavalry with Lord in Reserve. All right.
So how about I read out this whole Stormlance?
Sounds like a good idea.
We have a Wolflord on Thunderwolf with Hunter's Instincts, which I recall is the one that... Is that the reserve turn 1, I think?
That is, for the purpose of setting up that unit on the battlefield, treat the current battle round numbers being 1 higher than it actually is.
Very nice.
Unclear whether that lets you show up turn 1 or whether it lets you show up turn 2 with no restrictions.
That is one of the ones that lets you come in turn 1.
Booyah.
Of
Love
the 7 different ways they have written that rule, that is one of the better ones.
But keywords are going to solve all that.
Soon.
Yes, but the one thing is I don't believe you can rapid ingress on turn 1.
Let me read it. Yes, that one you can rapid ingress turn 1. That is one of the best ones.
Fantastic. Well, that is very good.
Yep. Then we have a Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf with Fury of the Storm, which is basically a do better when charging.
Yes.
Canis.
+1 strength and AP, and then I'm just trying to familiarize myself.
Sure. Yeah.
Each time they end a charge move, +2 strength and AP.
Yep.
Good
It's
buff.
good. It's a good buff.
Good buff.
Canis Wolfborn, the cheapest man on Wolf, incredible.
He's so good. He's so good.
Ragnar Blackmane, also great. Logan Grimnar, he appears to have left his furry friends at home.
It's not on Storm Rider.
Then we're on to 2 lieutenants with Storm Shield and a power weapon. 2 units of Blade Guard, 1/6, 1/3. 2 Fenrisian Wolves, just very cheap. A Jump Pack Intercessor squad, an Infiltrator squad, a Land Raider, a Venerable
A
Dreadnought.
Space Wolves Venerable Dreadnought. There was not room in that line to say it. But
Got it. That is the Space Wolf Venerable Dreadnought.
I thought it was going to have a Blizzard Shield and a Frost Axe, but it didn't.
No, Twin Lives Cannon Missile Launcher. 3 units of 3 Thunderwolf Cavalry
Love
with
that.
Storm Shields, and a squad of 5 Wolf Guard Torminators.
Okay, so let's figure out what all these characters are doing, right? Mm-hmm. So we've got the Wolf Lords on Thunderwolf with Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Yeah.
I quite like the 3-man Thunderwolf Cav with a character because they give the character +1 damage. I've actually played with it a little bit, and it feels pretty good.
Yeah, that part, stay.
Yeah, that part good. Then next up we've got Canis, who is ludicrous at 75 points. He's going in a 3-man squad of Thunderwolf. I'm not asking any more questions. That dude is gross for 75.
Like those 3 characters are just kind of staying, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine somebody I'd want to swap in for that.
No, I think that's just a good, solid package to have in the list.
Ragnar Blackmane +6 Blade Guard veterans, is also nutty.
Yep.
I love Ragnar. He is like the only character outside of Black Templars I would include in a Black Templars list if I could.
Calgar.
Calgar? Maybe.
Calgar.
I can guarantee you I would include Ragnar. That dude hits like a freight train, and he gives his unit advance and charge.
Which doesn't matter here, but
Doesn't matter here.
still just a good character.
But for 90 points, you can remove his best ability, and he's still insane.
Yeah.
And I like putting him in 6 Blade Guard vets, just like Wolf Lord Russ does here. I've seen a lot of people putting him in 5-man Assault Intercessors because you reroll wounds against objectives, and that hits harder. But here's the thing. I want him to hit multiple times, and 6 Blade Guard vets, actually kind of annoying to remove.
Yeah.
Ragnar can hit again and again and again and sweep a flank, whereas with 5 Assault Intercessors, anything can kill that.
Yes.
So I love the setup you got here. Then we got Logan Grimnar. His buff is insane. Love him.
Yep, he's great.
He's great. We got 2 lieutenants. They're the odd ones out, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're joining both of the Blade Guard squads, and what a lieutenant does, in addition to being a body with another mastercrafted power weapon, which has inherent value, is they give fallback, shoot, and charge, and lethal hits. And Stormlance, you already have fallback and charge. So he gives lethal and fallback and shoot. Fallback and shoot is what I call irrelevant.
And especially on Blade Guard.
On Blade Guard, specifically.
Yeah.
And so it's 65 points for another Blade Guard veteran and then giving the unit lethal hits.
I'm not
65 is
straight
cheap.
up against that in Ragnar's unit.
Yeah.
Now, the fallback, at first I was like, he gives him fallback and charge all the time, because I'm used to Gladius.
But wait.
But wait, yeah.
Where's Armlance?
Oops. Yeah, so I definitely don't see the need of a 3-man Blade Guard plus a lieutenant.
That part I agree completely.
That feels like a unit that is too small to actually do the job it wants to do.
Yeah, and it's only 155, but it's 4 models for 155.
It's not that.
And I feel like once you lose 2 models, that no longer kills anything interesting.
So I'm going to do my preliminary cut.
That I agree with. I think 1 lieutenant, getting lethal is nice because occasionally you have a wounding thing problem in this army. Even though you can get a reasonable amount of lance on some of these packages, you can't really get lance on the Blade Guard veterans.
I don't hate the lieutenant in Ragnar's unit.
Yep, I think
let me just double check that he can.
He can.
He can. Okay,
Yep.
cool. I don't hate the lieutenant there. Giving lethal hits makes the unit hit harder. It's another body which you physically can't buy for the unit. So I don't hate it. It also has the possibility to give that unit enhancement, whereas Ragnar ordinarily can't. So that is interesting. Then we got 2 units of Fenrisian Wolves, a unit of 5 Jump Pack Intercessors, 5 Infiltrators, a Land Raider Godhammer pattern,
Yep.
a Venerable Dreadnought, 3 units of Thunderwolf Cav, and the 5 Terminators. So going through this, the Venerable Dreadnought feels like something that is
Yeah, it's
really overcosted.
what it's doing is it's providing long-range support on a 2-up save platform, but the long-range support is 2 shots.
Yes.
For my money, I do not. I'm not saying we're going to turn it into a ballistas, but to me, and I'm going to reread the Venerable Dreadnought to see if I'm missing
I
something.
believe it's because it has a reroll 1s to hit and wound aura for infantry.
It does, but who is benefiting from that?
Ragnar. No, I agree.
Of the gun rust.
I don't.
It is 6 inches, yeah. To me, it looks like a worse ballistas, and then
I agree,
I don't know
yeah.
if I would want a ballistas.
Yeah, that's.
But a ballistas
kind
is
of-
cheaper, tougher, shoots harder.
Yes, because the ballistas hits on 3s, rerolls hits against things above half strength,
And
has 4 shots.
Instead of 2 shots?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's significantly better.
Yeah.
But I also don't generally like ballistas that much.
Yeah, that doesn't have to become a ballistas, but it's not going to stay a Venerable Dreadnought.
That is true. So I'm gonna just pull this over here. It's in
We
the.
know that's gone.
It's being something else.
Yeah. I really like 1 squad of infiltrators and space marines these days.
I like it. I think it's really
I
good.
really like jump pack intercessors, and we'll try to get more in.
I think they're good. I think they're better in Sons of Sanguinius, but I think they're solid elsewhere.
But that's not an option, so we're just going to say always advance in charge is nice. Because it also, advance in charge is not just to make a charge, it's also a get everyone in engagement range.
Yeah.
And that has value to me too.
Yes. No, I mean, the thing I always have to remind myself is I'm like, oh my god, jump pack intercessors are insane. They have 4 attack or 5 attack seats. It's 6-1. Oh, right.
it's just-
They're still good. They're still good.
Still good.
Yeah.
Advance in charge is really nice on them.
It's very good. We got the Fenrisian Wolves, which are good, but also cuttable. They are OC0.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is we're going to ignore the Fenrisian Wolves and we're going to take a look at them at the end. And
Exactly.
if we're 2030, they're gone, and if we're 1970, they're in.
I'm going to pull them down into the core of the list.
Agreed. Yeah, they're just a bonus.
Let's find out what Wolfguard Terminators are
My
/ do.
memory is that they are just the same rule as regular Space Marine Terminators, but they're the old index version, which means it's very mildly better. It's just like ignore hit mods and +1 to hit against the Oath target.
That is correct. And you ignore ballistic skill and weapon skill mods.
Right.
If those,
Ballistic skill and weapon skill.
if
and
you
hit
play
mods.
against a
Death Guard,
Death
sure.
Guard player who picks the wrong one.
Yep. 100%.
Okay.
That's an option.
Your unit comp, war gear options, you get like Space Wolves have always had like we can take the weird war gear.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that gets removed because Dark Angel's got that axed in their codex.
Yeah, I mean like they can take a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, which is pretty obvious, honestly. They can take like a Chain Fist Storm Shield.
Yeah, I feel like you just take like Cyclone missile launchers and then Thunderhammer Storm Shield on the rest.
Yeah, you get 1 Cyclone missile launcher. I don't love regular Terminators.
I think a 5-man doesn't make much sense. For 185, what it can be is a 2-up save unit with a just 4 wounds each, Thunderhammer Storm Shield. It is relatively durable, but in the context of this list, we already have high toughness 4 wound 4+ invul models in Thunder Cav.
Yes.
And to me, a Thunder Cav, even increasing a squad size, is better than a Wolfguard Terminator. Like, personally, I would rather that 5-man Wolfguard Terminator turn the Thunder Cav into 6-3-3 and then give us a lot of points.
I'm totally down for that.
Yeah.
Now, I think the last part, so Wolfguard, I think, are going to exit the core of the list.
I agree. They don't seem like they're contributing to the...
I've been perfectly happy to run Logan Grimnar solo.
Yeah.
And I also think him on Storm Rider running around by himself is not bad. I actually think it's quite good.
Yeah, I think you could do either one.
Because you just don't have enough Thunderwolf cavalry units to go around. If you could take like 6 of them, then you would be like, Storm Rider Logan goes in one, Wolflore goes in another, blah, 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 blah.
So, in a Stormlance, theoretically, what would you like to see that's not here? Because it looks like we have a very healthy chunk of points that can be played with.
So, looking at the original list, the thing that I noticed is we had a lot of points of kind of fluff, of things that didn't really do the fighting, right? We have
Yeah.
four units that do the fighting. Blade Guard, 3 units of Thunderwolf Cav. Originally we had Wolf Guard Terminators. I don't really think they're that great. I think they don't really do that much damage.
I
so
agree.
hold
I
them out.
have stock Terminators. I've played them in a couple different Marine detachments, and admittedly, I've never played them in Stormlance. But I've played them with Advance and Charge Axis. Generic Terminators have failed to impress me, and I've had multiple opportunities to do so.
Yes. I want more damage in this list.
Yeah.
I don't think this list has enough damage in it. Now, in terms of Stormlance, I've looked over their stratagems recently.
I think it's the good ones are 1 CP -1 to hit and wound for cavalry for mounted against shooting only. That's a battle tactic. That's awesome.
Yep, very
they
good.
have a 1 CP lance and reroll charge stratagem.
Yep.
That's good. They have armor of contempt. They have a 1 CP assault weapons, and if they already have assault, it gives a bonus.
Sustained. It gets sustained.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. So I recently wrote a Stormlance list because I'm going to be playing it at some point in the future, and I included a unit of Inceptors in there with plasma.
Yeah.
With the idea, you drop down, you shoot, you pay a CP, you get sustained on them, you reroll hits, and you hit.
Yeah,
something
you can.
really
You
hard.
can. I'm willing to pay a CP into an oath target. 100% for
Yeah,
sustained
for
one.
sure. So this Land Raider, I either want to get rid of it or make it a Redeemer.
I very much would like to have a Land Raider. I am down to make it a Redeemer. I think that is a worthy upgrade. What you're losing between the Dreadnought and the Redeemer is long-range transport popping ability. I think that is okay for this list.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. If we want to add it back, we can add in like 2 squads or
and,
2.
and Wolf Lord Russ, if you're in the chat,
He
you
is.
are, and you specifically don't have access to a Redeemer, let us know. We do, if the person is in the chat while we're fixing the list, we will take into account any modeling restrictions that the person has, because that's just reasonable to do, right?
Yep.
You know,
Sounds good.
I'm not going to tell you to ally Canis Rex if you don't have Canis Rex
And I'm not going to tell you to ally Canis Rex in general
will.
right now.
all the time.
Okay, so we have, let me put in the Land Raider Redeemer.
We still have a lot of points, right?
We have a ton of points. We have 545.
Things I want. I want more jump pack intercessors, and I
I'm
do want
totally
this.
down for
I
that.
do want the scouts that were mentioned. Scouts valuable because you have infiltrators. I don't feel like it has to be 2 scouts. 2 infiltrating units is my minimum in Space Marine list at the moment, but it doesn't have to be 2 scouts and an infiltrator, because infiltrators obviously have a different role, but they're still quite valuable.
They hold your backfield and mean that nobody gets behind you.
I
They
really value
they
that.
just don't
I
get
really
behind
value
you.
that right now.
Yeah, it's quite good. You can always go to 2 infiltrator squads and really tell people to go screw themselves, but like
I have found that
not
that is
necessary.
not necessary, but it is certainly an option.
Yeah. So we've got several points. I'm not even sure if we want the lieutenant, but
I'm willing to leave it in while we develop the points.
mostly I just want to see if there is a an enhancement I want in that unit.
Reroll advances is the best one remaining, which
Yeah.
is actually genuinely useful just for when Ragnar's squad gets out. Having a free reroll of the advance is honestly worth it in my opinion.
Do we want to go to 3 JPI?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Chain swords and charge mortals, folks. It's just
good. So unfortunately, does not have a redeemer yet
I, for what it's worth, am willing to leave it in.
as a stretch goal.
No, I meant the Land Raider. It would be better as a redeemer, 0 questions. But
Yes.
I still kind of like it because I want a transport for Ragnar's unit.
Oh, I just run him around on foot, honestly. Like I don't want Ragnar. To me, feels like a unit that doesn't want to go down the middle.
Agreed.
He wants to sweep a flank.
Agreed. I guess I still like having a transport for that, but
That's fair. So if we include a regular Land Raider, which
it is worse.
It
Not
is
going to
worse.
pretend, but I still think it's not bad.
let's put these in. We should have, I believe, 405 points left at the end of
Yeah.
what is up here.
I think I would actually like 2 units of 5 Wolfen in here. Even
Okay.
if we decide Ragnar's on foot, 2x5 Wolfen in a Land Raider does not feel bad because they can just advance and charge out of it in different directions and just split up and go do things.
Yep. If we do that, I'm probably going to lean away from taking Fenrisian molds. There's a certain quota of OC0 models I'm willing to take.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
All right. So Wolfen, I'm willing to put 2x5 in.
Yeah, I think for their points, Wolfen, they don't hit incredibly hard, but for their points, they hit relatively hard, and they're tougher than average and hit harder than average for a unit of their points cost.
Yeah, which
And
I
in
believe is
Stormlands,
80.
they are also faster than average.
I believe Wolfen are 80
Yep.
points.
They certainly have their flaws,
Yes, they are.
but I think that for the dollars, they are good value.
Okay, so let's see where we're at. We have 245 points left. I am willing to upgrade Logan Grimnar to Storm Rider just to give him.
How many points is that, like 80?
It's 80.
80, okay. And then how many points will that leave us?
That will leave us. We have 245 right now, so leave us with 165.
Okay.
I believe, if I've done my math right.
How do you feel? How many points is a battle leader on Wolf?
Not that much. Wolfguard Battle Leader on Thunderwolf is 80.
Okay, because what I'm thinking of, and this is obviously 5 points over, so we'll have to figure that out. And we don't have scouts in here, so okay, fair enough.
We do want some scouts.
I do want some scouts.
I would love to juice some numbers on these.
Agreed. What I wanted to do was take one Thunderwolf to 6-man and add a battle leader to it. That is, however, 170 points, which we can work with, but is something we have to factor in. But what I like about that is the
You can only
battle
fit
leader.
5 Wolfen in a Land Raider. They are big thick.
Oh, they're big, thick.
They're big
That's
thick.
hilarious.
I remember that now that you mention
I
it.
still like 5 Wolfens.
Personally think the thing that we want here is
Just get rid of it.
just get rid of it. It's so many points when what I
Yeah.
really want to do is juice up these Thunderwolf
I
units.
definitely want the Thunderwolf getting juiced. I think 12 Thunderwolf is perfectly ideal. I've seen the 3-man and character played. I think it is quite valuable, but one big thick brick to me still feels worth it, because that can be one that gets the main defense and is a problem.
I'm willing to juice it actually to 2, and we'll see where we have points left on that. The third one is Canis, or the third one is Hunter's Instincts and comes off a flank and goes, hi!
Yeah, it just goes real fast.
Yeah. But my thought is actually that you want both 6-mans to have Wolf Lords, because if they shoot at one, you
Pay the CP.
pay the CP, they shoot the other, you make it free.
Yep.
And no matter what order they go in, those 2 units are going to be a problem, which I quite like. Let's see how many points we have left. We should have a decent amount, actually. And what we're going to try and get with that is scouts. So this list definitely hits harder than it used to. Not by like...
Can we get a battle leader anywhere? Is that worth it? Because the Blood Surge rule is pretty gnarly.
It is pretty gnarly. It's just 80 points takes a unit from like, 290 to 370. And I don't think that makes the unit better. I think if you add that rule to it, I think it makes...
To me, it means that you can't move, block it, and then shoot it. And that is the main weakness, right, of the big brick, is like someone blocks it an inch away and then points guns at it, and you take the guns, and then next turn you kill the move block, and then you're still just... It happens again.
My thought here is that that's what the rest of the list is for. Right? The rest of the list is infantry that advances and charges.
That's fair.
So these things mulch on the move block. These things go past the move block.
Yeah, and the jump back intercessors are certainly a way to help that problem.
Let's put in the scouts.
Okay. So how many points do we have left?
We have 225.
Okay, so let's add... If we had 2 scouts, we'd have 95 points left.
Yes.
5 scout time.
Which could be another squad Wolfen if we were feeling it.
Yeah, we'd have some options, I'd say. Scouts.
Wrong font. I hate that thing.
There we go. Scoodles. All right, so scouts with the good war gear, we're not going to type it out.
Yeah, it's got
scouts.
They've got I actually like the heavy bolter. A lot of people like the missile launcher.
I am fully on the heavy bolter camp. If you're on anything other than Ironstorm, I think the heavy bolter's better.
Yeah, for sure. Because it actually helps them kill the sort of units they want to be tangling with, whereas a missile launcher...
A missile launcher is 0 hits, a heavy bolter is 1 hit. That's better.
Also, they're going to be skirmishing a lot. Heavy bolter actually kills that stuff. Missile launcher, what are they going to shoot? Tank?
It just doesn't do anything. So 2x5 scouts, love that. 95 points left. 1 Eradicator squad doesn't sound that appealing. We basically don't have transport popping other than hit it, which I think is not necessarily a bad thing, just is the reality. We could just add another Wolfen squad and just like continue the pressure.
Which I'm not like necessarily against. The amount of units that we have that I'm like excited for do go down significantly. We could take Herald Deathwolf. He is not bad solo.
How many points is he?
He's 85.
And is that better than a Wolfen squad, do you think? Because like
he does hold an objective, which is something like 2 squads of Wolfen is fine. 3 squad starts to get to the point where like a significant amount of my skirmish can't actually hold the objectives.
That's fair.
And that's kind of a problem for me.
Yeah.
What he does is he doesn't get his leader ability, but then once per phase, he changes the damage to 0 against him.
Once per phase. That's annoying to deal with.
It is annoying to deal with, and he's toughness 6 with 7 wounds and a 3-up, 4-up.
Sure, toss in Herald. And
Yeah.
Herald is usually going to run solo.
He's just going to run solo.
What is his ability if you theoretically?
He gives dev wounds to Thunderwolf Cavalry.
The physical wolves? The bites?
Wolves. They're wolves. They're bites. I've rolled that out many times.
And you
it
just
doesn't
don't.
do anything.
Once it will, and most of the time it won't.
Yeah.
Yep, that seems fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that becoming Herald Deathwolf.
I think he's kind of not bad by himself. He's cheap, which is good.
Yep.
And he is legitimately annoying to deal with on a flank.
Yeah.
Because like your opponent gets a Melta through and you're just like, sorry, that's damage, 0 from over 9 inches away.
Yeah, and with a 4-up invuln, it's very possible to scam people with that. You want to
yeah, that's going away.
This is 1990.
No,
Do we have the enhancement on the lieutenant at the moment?
we have 0 enhancement.
Okay.
So we could do that, or we
do
could
we have
cut the
Fury
lieutenant.
of the Storm and Hunter's Instincts?
Yes.
Okay, so we do have those. Just
Yeah, we have no enhancement on the lieutenant. What if we turn the Dread into Bjorn?
Bjorn is cool.
Bjorn is very cool.
How many points
Do you
is
want to
Bjorn?
talk about Bjorn?
Yeah, let me just look up how many points he is, because I would not be mad to have
180. He's not cheap.
Yeah, so what is he? He's a tough dreadnought with good combat and Vect, right? Yeah, he's 6 attacks at 12, 2, 3, no inherent rerolls, lethal hits. His abilities are Vect and half damage. He is a very tough
Yes.
for his just T9, 8 wounds, 2-up save, half damage.
Advance and charge all the time is helpful.
Yep,
And his melee weapons are, I mean, I'm not going to say they're
6 attacks at 12,
insane,
2, 3.
but they're all right.
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, lethal hits is kind of whatever. I don't hate Bjorn. He's kind of like a different Catan, almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's fewer wounds, but he still has a half damage, 5 feeling pain. He's a 2-up save instead of 4-up.
Catan, I can feel good about throwing a grenade at. He's 8 wounds.
Yeah,
I don't mind
I know.
Bjorn, but I also don't love
I don't love Bjorn. I actually like Herald better because he's just 85 points for a little dude you don't care about.
Yep, yeah, because in order to get Bjorn, we would need to cut Herald and then find 85 points. Oh, he has a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah, no, he has one.
Yep, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, he is like a mini Catan. Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's not bad.
Sorry, I thought you'd seen that.
No, I missed that part. I read his physical rules. I skipped over the Deadly Demise part, and then there was also Feel No Pain there.
Yeah. No, he's tough as nails. The problem is his damage output. His gun is like not there.
No, it's just a las cannon that's twin linked, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can choose a variety of weapons, and then you will choose the twin link las cannon.
Yeah, that's the one we're gonna take.
Yeah.
I think I like this as is, unless there's a 10-point enhancement for Lieutenant. Which I don't.
The
I
only
think
question
everything
is, does the lieutenant want to become something else?
Got it. So we have 10 points, so we theoretically have 75 to play with.
And there's not a 10-point enhancement. The reroll advances is
We
15.
could trade that lieutenant for the 75-point combi weapon lieutenant,
I like that better.
and that gives us another. So it essentially gives us 4 backfield scoring units, which between infiltrators and a lone up is a really good to screen out your side of the board. Scouts, I'm okay now using them as a bit of a reserve thing.
Yeah. I like that.
I think that's probably worth it.
I don't think Ragnar needs him.
No.
And he makes Ragnar significantly more expensive.
Yep. Lieutenant with combi weapon. This is or combi weapon lieutenant. We can,
I have to do this. I have experienced which units I have to write in which way.
Totally fair.
Assault Intercessor with Jump Pack is not going to fit here.
Yep. And that just takes him to 75, which by my
Clean
math.
70, right?
Oh, it's 70, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So that's it's still now it's 1995.
Yeah. I like that quite a lot. This only includes units I like, really? Harold's a bit speculative, but I think for 85 points, he's a good skirmish.
Yeah, for 85 points, I'm super. He's interesting. The Blanka save every phase is just annoying to deal with.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of the time, like, what is your opponent going to do? Charge him with 5 legionaries, right?
Yeah, it's gonna do 2 damage.
The Power Fist is going to put 2 wounds on him. You're going to bounce 1, blank the other, take a couple damage from the chain swords, and then kill most of the unit. He's 6 attacks at 6/2/2, which is not like nothing.
Yeah, and then he has a wolf.
Then he's a wolf.
Yep. I like Harold where he is.
He's skirmishy boy. All right, so that is that for that. Thank you, Wolf Lord Russ. Apparently, Wolf Lord Russ is loving the list.
That's what I like.
That's perfect. All right, which of these do you want to go with next? Right or left? This is generic Marines. Let's go with that one.
Let's do it. Click it.
First Company Task Force. Sorry, I said
right.
generic Marines, but I lied.
Yep. We got Xander K with the First Company Task Force. Does Xander have any? Oh, actually, let's hit the. No, we already hit the super chat.
Yeah, we hit the super chat.
Yep. And thank you again, Ryan G, for the support. We appreciate you.
Yep. Okay, so Xander K has some notes. First Company Task Force list I have been messing with. It has been pretty fun so far. Chaplain with Assault Terminators, Captain with Flamer Terminators, Librarian with Assault Cannon Terminators. Thinking of doing Cyclones instead, but we can talk about that. Unsure of the 2 Jump Intercessors, and Phobos Librarian. Ideas that the Jump Intercessors are cheap deep strike, and Intercessors will eventually be useful for the new mission pack, but I am not really sure. I also sort of want to include Reavers with a Phobos Lieutenant, so you can deep strike, shoot, move, charge, and maybe get 2 battle shock checks on you with the Assault Terminators and Fear Made Manifest.
Yeah, I definitely want that to work.
It won't.
Jack, with the Lieutenant, it's a 9-inch aura of -1 leadership. Please?
Battle shock shenanigans are not good.
Come on!
Okay, so why don't you read us out what's in this list?
All right, Terminator Captain with Combat Weapon Relic Power Fist and Iron Resolve. I honestly need you to tell me what these enhancements do.
That is fine.
Fear Made Manifest, I do know.
He gets a 5-0 Feel No Pain, and then once a game, when his unit is selected for the target of an attack, until the end of the phase, they get a 5-0 Feel No Pain.
That I like.
That is not bad.
110, that's fine. Terminator Chaplain with a Relic Shield and Fear Made Manifest, and that is, it's take a battle shock test at the beginning of the fight phase, and then once a game, it's like an aura of battle shock.
No. It is when an enemy unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, every time that unit fails a battle shock check, 1 model in that unit is destroyed, chosen by its controlling player.
Right.
Once per battle, when such an enemy unit fails a battle shock check, you can choose for D3 models to be destroyed. And it is 30 points.
30 points is I knew. All right, then we have a Terminator Librarian with the Imperium Sword.
Let me give you that one.
Yep.
+1 attack. Once per battle, you can give +1 attack to his whole unit.
I do want that to happen once per battle.
That is nice. It's also 25 points, which I think is super worth it.
Yep. Phobos Librarian, which is exactly what it says on the tin. 5 generic intercessors, 2x5 jump pack intercessors, 5 infiltrators, 2x5 scouts, 10 Terminators with 5 chain fist, 4 power fist, power weapon, 2 assault cannon twice.
Yep.
And 5 assault Terminators with thunder, hammer, and storm shields.
Oh, Captain with Flamer Terminators? It might be that they have heavy flamers and I missed the second part of it.
Totally fair.
Can they even take heavy flamers instead of the assault cannon?
You can do heavy flamer or assault cannon or cyclone and bolter.
I see. Okay, so it's probably one squad has 2 heavy flamers and one squad has 2 assault cannons.
Totally fair.
Is my guess. So what you've actually played? Have you played First Company?
Nope.
Nope.
I have not played
There
a
is
game
a
with that
reason
yet.
for that.
However,
First
the
Company's cool.
enhancements are appealing.
Yes. I like Iron Resolve. I like Imperium Sword. Fear Made Manifest is surprising that it is the most expensive one because I think it is not good.
Fear Made Manifest, it's a 6-inch aura of when you fail a battle shock. Take a... Okay.
And it's surprising because the one we're not taking I actually think is pretty good.
Which the one we're not taking?
Rights of War. Rights of War is the bearer gets +1 OC, whatever. Once a game at the start of any phase, his whole unit gets +1 OC.
Yeah, that's solid.
It's 10 points.
The enhancements, I think even Fear Made Manifest is interesting. I think every enhancement in First Company Task Force is worth looking at.
Yeah. The thing I like about Rights of War, by the way, is it's not one use. It sounds like it's one use. It is not. What happens is anytime your opponent is going to try and take your objective away, you just go, by the way, you might just be wasting your unit because I can take the objective with Rights of War.
Popping +1.
And so they won't do it. And then you don't have to pop Rights of War. And then the following turn, they want to take it again. They're like, well, you'll just pop Rights of War and this will be terrible. And then they won't do it again and you won't need to pop it. It's the kind of...
Then late game, you'll pop it at a point when you're contesting the enemy's objective.
Yep.
And that's also cool.
This is a once-a-game ability where the threat of it will give you a lot of room.
Yep. No, I like Rights of War for 10 points.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I think Iron Resolve and Imperium Sword are mandatory, which means Fear Made Manifest is going to get cut.
Yes.
Which is sad, because I genuinely think I'm okay with Fear Made Manifest on face value, but we're not taking 4 enhancements because of the rules.
Yes. I also don't see a way to force a battle shock check other than an opponent being below half strength.
For some reason, I thought that there was a way to get a take it if, like, when you kill a unit, force a battle shock test on. something
Let's
nearby.
look up the first company task force because it
I
has been
believe
a
there's
hot
a
minute.
stratagem that helps with the synergy here.
Yes. So once per game, you get reroll wounds on your oath target, which is
Is it for everyone or for veterans?
each time a model from your army with the Oath of Moment ability.
All right, perfect. So it's everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So we've read the enhancements. We got the stratagems. We got Armor of Contempt. We've got veterans get +1 to hit, and if they're below half strength, +1 to wound.
Yep.
We've got veterans in your that made a charge move and destroyed one or more enemy
it
units. Or a pulse of battle shock in your opponent's next command phase, and if they're below half strength, -1. I will tell you, I've played World Eaters a lot. World Eaters have the exact same stratagem. I have not even come close to using it a single time.
I will say that World Eaters might have slightly different stratagems than this attachment.
Unfortunate.
To keep that in mind.
Dude, this is the detachment I wanted to play the absolute most.
But here we are. So, Fear Made Manifest, is it within 6 inches of the Terminator Chaplain or of his unit for the fail battle shock
From
thing?
him.
So it triggers battle shock within 6 of the unit,
Yes.
but then they have to be specifically in 6 of the Chaplain to take the extra casualty of it.
Yes.
Because obviously you'll pop his once a game D3 models at the same time that you pop the stratagem.
Yeah. It is also, it's not at the same time. It's once a game when they fail a check, it's a D3 instead.
Yes.
So like you get to see the check be failed. It's not an aura of D3.
Yeah,
it's
just
once a game
one check
you.
turns into D3, which means on a 1 or 2 it's the same and you never use that part. Because it's not D3 additional, it's not D3 plus 1. It's turned to 1 into D3, but sometimes a D3 turns into 1.
That's true.
I don't think it's worth chasing the rabbit hole, even though it's awesome.
Yeah.
That seems too hard to make work.
There's not enough payoff. There's not enough support. It's not great on both ends.
Yep.
They have sticky objectives. They have pull a unit off the board at the end of your opponent's fight phase. It has to be a Terminator unit.
Yep. But it just goes into deep strike.
And then it has to show up the following turn.
Yep.
In your movement phase. It's not bad. I don't think you have a way to get into combat reliably off that, but it's not that
There's
bad.
not really any charge modifiers that I'm aware of that Space Marines have access to.
And then in your opponent's charge phase, just after they charged you, 1 CP, whenever an attack is allocated to you, -1 damage. They have to have charged you for it, but 1 CP -1 damage is
a
good,
battle
even
tactic.
if it's situational.
Something.
And it is battle tactic.
So, we're gonna keep, I assume, the premise of 3 Terminator bricks.
I would assume.
We're playing First Company Task Force, right? We're not gonna...
What are we taking
change.
other than that?
Yeah, we're not gonna change and say, all right, no veterans, we only take reroll wounds on these things.
I mean, I'll be honest. If we currently are just Space Marines, there is
Correct.
no chapter.
Correct.
So we can add chapter-specific characters if we want to choose to go a particular chapter. I would say we probably want to avoid going like really heavy into chapter-specific units.
Because I don't know what Xander K has available, and I haven't seen them in the chat yet.
But chapter-specific characters are pretty easy to convert to being whatever your chapter is.
Yep.
And also, it's First Company Task Force. It might need all the help it can get.
Yes. There aren't any particularly interesting veteran characters that I can think of off the top of my head. Belial. Yeah, I guess you could take a Blade Guard unit with Ragnar.
Yeah, it just adds a unit that is good into an army that needs them.
Sure, I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
So, core of the list, we're taking Terminators. I like the 2 big enhancements of the of Iron Resolve and Imperium Sword.
Yes.
Once a game +1 attack, once a game 5-up Feel No Pain. Both sound awesome. In my opinion, that 5-up Feel No Pain wants to be on a 10-mana Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminator unit.
It just make it a bear to do.
Just make it as tough as possible.
Once a game, just nope, sorry.
Yep.
It didn't work.
Just once a
sorry.
game, I am much tougher than average.
Yes.
And an Assault Terminator unit very much can be impossible to shift for many armies. Not every army, but sometimes.
What I notice is we're taking a 1-1-1 approach to
I
characters.
very much am not going to keep that.
Nope. That is
0% chance.
So I think this is a good opportunity to be a learning experience for people in the chat.
Sure.
Each of these does a very different thing.
Yep.
And this is not a case where you're covering your bases. It is a case where you figure out which one is optimal, and then you take that one.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to end up on a 3 of 1 approach if we stay at 3 Terminator units.
think
but
2 and 1 is.
I think 2 and 1 is likely where we're going.
This guy kind of sucks.
The Terminator Librarian is going to get cut.
He gives his unit sustained, which is not the worst thing in the world.
It's cool, but I would rather have +1 to wound off of a chaplain usually because you don't get a lance access in this detachment.
Yep.
Or the free strat of the Terminator Captain. It basically, do you want to lean into offense or defense? The Terminator Librarian is straddling the middle in a way that I don't like.
Yes. And the chaplain also gives you a 4 feel no pain against mortals, which
That is a thing I love.
legitimately not bad.
Yep.
Wolflord Russ, in your list, yes, Harold is on his own. He just kind of runs around, is annoying to remove, and that's it.
100%.
I don't hate turning this into Space Wolves, because you get Logan on foot, who wants to join Terminators.
Sure.
And you get Ragnar, who makes a unit of Blade Guard insanity mode.
So if we're adding a Blade Guard and Ragnar unit, I don't think we're cutting the quantity of trash. We might like move it around. We essentially have 6 units of not Terminator at the moment. I think the Phobos Librarian's gonna get cut.
Yeah, I don't see a purpose to this guy.
Nope, I think he's gone. I very much want to, I'm with you, the Ragnar Blade Guard unit's awesome. I feel like we're gonna go down to 20 Terminators to make that work. Which
I think it's actually doable. I think we have more of this than we need.
okay, well let's add before we cut.
Fair.
Let's change the order.
So what you're going to want to do is
Convert a captain to have a big chain sword.
Yep.
And then you call him Ragnar.
Make a dude look like Ragnar, kind of, but in whatever your color scheme is, and do some cool conversion, and boom, he gets Ragnar's rules, and there you go. You don't actually have to paint your guys Space Wolves.
Nope.
If you don't like. Just, Ragnar's a sick-ass character, so go ahead and use him.
Yep. I am okay with that. So, we now have Ragnar. He's what, 90?
Yes. And then the unit is...
180?
Yeah, Ragnar is the best unit in Space Wolves. He's one of the better units in...
He's definitely one of the best characters in Space Marines.
Other option you could take, other than Ragnar, actually, this might be better, is
Say the one I like.
Gabriel Seth.
Oh. I don't hate that. Let's look at
Do you know what Gabriel Seth does?
I know he's quite interesting.
He might actually be Ragnar Plus.
Let's read Gabriel Seth.
So he also gives his unit
Depending
advance in charge.
on which type of angry man with chainsword you want to
Yes.
convert. Okay, let me just read his abilities real quick. I know he's good in combat. Advance in charge, chill that fight is resolved, +1 attack for every 5 models within 6 inches. That's big.
That's a big aura.
Ranged is a bolt pistol. Melee is 6 attacks at 8 to 3 sus 1. How many points is he?
Not that many.
He's 90.
Yeah, he's better than Ragnar.
Yeah, just put him in.
Yeah.
Screw Ragnar. What are we doing?
So it's definitely...
Gabriel Seth.
So the
Flush
reason
now.
you don't see Gabriel Seth is because he has a little rule that says you can't take any of the other
Blood Angels?
Blood Angel characters.
Yep.
But he is, on his face, really good.
Yeah, he's just often not considered to be as good as taking Sanguinor and a lot of other things.
Exactly. Which, honestly, I'm in the middle of reconsidering with my Sons of Sanguinius.
Look, I love Gabriel Seth. I have no problem with that. So,
But we're not doing a Sons of Sanguinius list right now. We are doing
just
a First Company Task Force. And if you want to run Ragnar, you definitely can. So it's going to be 6
Blade Guard veterans.
Yep.
I actually think that intercessor unit is going to end up getting cut.
Yeah, something's going to get cut. But we're gonna work from there. All right. Gabriel Seth is just adding a unit you do not have into your army, right? This is a 4th unit you can take. That is good. If you want to go with the Ragnar Blackmane approach, I think you take Logan on foot.
Yeah. Weirdly though, I think he would end up alone because I think we really want 2 enhancements.
Yeah.
Like at a minimum, we want 2, and I would like 3, honestly. Yeah. But even though that is good.
Sorry, Assault
can
Terminators,
Gabriel
I believe...
Seth join Blade Guard veterans was something someone asked. I will look at that real quick.
He could.
We'll just find out real quick. Nope.
Really?
Nope. There you go.
No, don't show it to me. It's gonna make me sad.
Okay.
So you can join Assault Intercessors.
Back
so we're
to
not
Ragnar.
back to Ragnar.
Dang it.
Well, that is gonna make
All
it
right.
so much less likely that sees my Sons of Sanguinius list.
Thanks, chat.
No!
Hate that.
Oh, that's so sad. I wanted to actually
Back
find a
to
use case for that dude.
He is very cool. Maybe one day he can join Blade Guard veterans. We'll work from there. He needs a new plastic kit, for being honest.
He does. Ragnar, I guess, is Primaris, which there's not really a thing, but also is a thing, but also isn't a thing, but also is.
It is. Yeah, it's the keyword thing now.
Did you know Mephiston is Primaris? Can't join Blade Guard.
Yeah, it's not a one-way transaction. But if you're not Primaris, you can't join Blade Guard. That's all it is.
It is so sad.
Squares and circles.
But Ragnar is an insane unit by himself. It's the one I originally wanted to go with. I'm not sad about this.
Yep. So, 6 Blade Guard veterans, Ragnar Blackmane, love that. I think the Terminator Librarian is just gone. Like it's not
Is he
there.
turning into something else?
Let's look at the points real quick. Thank you, Kenneth Smith, for the super chat. We did catch that. Big sad. No Blade Guard with Gabriel Seth, which means we're back on Ragnar. Big sad. Only the Primaris Angry Man with Chainsword is making the list.
Okay, I need to find another character to be 90 points because I don't want to rewrite the entire list in my app.
Fair. You can leave it off, and we'll just do 1990 or 1910 if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
2 jump pack intercessors I love. 1 infiltrator I love. 2x5 scouts I love. The regular intercessors don't feel necessary, in my opinion.
No, infiltrators hold your backfield.
Yeah, I think we have things to babysit the objectives. We don't need to leave them.
Because we have infiltrator, scout. That is enough skirmish for me.
I agree. Jump back intercessors also help with the early game, secondary, and push. 100%. From here, we are definitely up points because we cut an 80 and a 70. We cut 150, we added 270. So I think on face value, this list is around 2120. And so getting this down is going to be a little tricky, especially because one of those 10-man Terminators, in my opinion, needs to turn into Thunderhammer Storm Shields.
Yes. I also want to juice up the Terminators a little bit, which is tough. You know, we don't have infinite points. Yeah, we have 2120 currently. I want to get rid of Fear-Made Manifest.
We can replace Fear-Made Manifest with Imperium Sword.
Yeah.
Or with... Yeah, because I think...
With Rights of War.
With Rights of War somewhere, yeah. We'll figure out that part later.
Okay. These guys are not coming out of the list. They're just rearranging.
They're in.
So this is the skirmish. This is the objective holding stuff.
So here's the thing. With a Blade Guard unit with Ragnar, I don't want to cut the trash lower than those 3 units.
Nope, this is where I'm happy with it.
I don't want to cut the jump pack intercessors.
I could see cutting the jump pack intercessors, but
I get
we don't have to.
My problem is sometimes there are 5 Rangers behind a wall, and I don't want to have to commit a 450-point unit to solve it.
I have...
Right?
I have a confession to make. There's another unit in this list.
Oh. What's the other unit? Oh, there's a Land Raider Redeemer.
It was stealthy. It was painted in camo. You couldn't see it.
Got it. I wondered why there was a 5-man Terminator, so that was just in the list the whole time.
That was just in the... I don't know why you couldn't see it, John. It was right there.
Okay, this does make me like this list a lot more.
I went through...
I was about to say, I'm like, these points don't add up.
I scrolled through the list in my app, and I was like, wait a minute.
All right, so sorry about that, folks. There was a Land Raider Redeemer in here the whole time, and we didn't... That's okay.
Okay.
All right. I like that part.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Does it stay? I love a Land Raider Redeemer, so like I'm not opposed to it staying, but also cutting it does free up an amount of points.
A lot of points. Enough to turn this into a biggity boy unit and then solve our over points problem.
Yeah, we'd have to trim one other thing from there, but yeah.
Yeah.
But that's better than trimming 2 things.
Yes. Can we fix our characters real fast to see how many points we're actually playing with?
I mean, yeah. So Terminator Chaplain turns into he goes down 20 points.
Because Fear-Made Manifest turns into
Rights of War. Yep. For now, let's make it 2 chaplains. I think I'm always down for the captain, but because it's cheaper, we start with the chaplain and we see how it works out.
Yeah, the chaplain, real good.
And so I want to say that Imperium Sword is 25.
It is, so It should be a clean
hundo?
Clean hundo.
Great.
So with all this, Laquez, so because it was originally when submitted a generic Space Marine list, that means we get access to any character we want.
Yes.
At all. It can be Ragnar. It can be Kevin. It can be Kevin Shrike.
Could be.
In Vanguard Veterans. It can be a lot of stuff. So it could be whatever you really want. It could be Marnius Calgar. I like the fact that Ragnar juices a veteran unit up, which is something I think is quite interesting there. But it can be basically anything you want. Go crazy, as long as it's in a Terminator or veteran of some kind.
We are currently, what's on the screen, 100 points over.
Okay.
So, I would not mind keeping the Redeemer, even though it's the only tank in the list. I think it's not needed.
I don't think it's needed either.
Yeah. I think we cut the Redeemer, and then I actually think we're going to end up, how much is Logan? Is just 100?
Clean hundo.
Is Logan better than a Terminator Chaplain with rights? Because I think Sword and Iron Resolve are staying.
Probably is my opinion. The reason I say probably is because he himself doesn't do a ton. He hits harder than Chaplain.
His once a game buff is reroll charges and
reroll
hits.
charges and hits whole army in combat. It is bananas. I like that quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Is that better? What's your opinion? Is that better than +1 to wound for his unit all the time? Reroll hits for your whole army. You have Oath. Are you going to be connecting that many charges? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Honestly, I think it is because so we just lost 260. So we're now at 1840.
Calgar plus Blade Guard would also be very good.
You know how I feel about.
I know how you feel about it. He's 180, right?
Yeah, he's Calgar's 185. You pay for him.
I think you include a chapter-specific guy who buffs up a veteran of some kind.
I agree with that.
Calgar's great. Ragnar's great. Kevin Shrike is great.
Yep.
Literally just go in. Azrael's great.
I love Azrael.
Where does Azrael join?
I believe he can join Blade Guard. It's just not.
Yeah, there's a lot of options there. Azrael would be good here.
I'd have to double check. You wouldn't take companions. I think he can join Blade Guard. I just don't because they already have a 4-up.
Right.
That's why I normally don't do that. But Azrael, even not giving his unit a 4-up invuln is still kind of good for 105.
Exactly. There's a lot of good options there. Yep. You can include, Sword Brethren don't get the benefit actually. But you can still include Grimaldus. You might be able to include Grimaldus. I don't know if he can join. He can probably join Blade Guard.
Yeah. I think Ragnar just being cheap is what we want.
Yeah, I don't think we want the unit to be super expensive.
Yep. So I think we go from here.
He can't. Grimaldus cannot join Sword Brethren, or cannot join Blade Guard.
He's got Sword Brethren for that.
Yeah.
I want to take one of these 10-man Terminators and turn into Assault Terminators. Can we just make that promotion real quick? It goes from 350 to 370, but just the 10-man that has a 5-up Feel No Pain once a game, in my opinion, has to be Thunderhammer Storm Shield, because its whole point is at some point that unit is going to step on the line, stick out its chin and say, go on, hit me.
370?
370, yep. Thunderhammers and Storm Shields.
I'm super down for that.
So that's a 20-point promotion. So we're at 1860 with what's on the tape on the screen here.
I'm going to be honest with you, my guy. I would love to promote the second unit, and the only thing standing in the way are these selfish jump pack intercessors.
Is it necessary?
I think so. The reason I think so is because I think we need to be able to have enough bodies on the table that are tough to overwhelm our opponent once we step out.
Yep.
We have 220 left, you said?
If I cut the 5 jump pack intercessors, we then have 220 left.
Okay. Which is enough to take all Assault Terminators.
It is.
And all 10-mans.
That's completely true. Let's try it out. So that's going to run us an extra...
Oh yeah, Adrax Agatone, great in Blade Guard. I think Advance and Charge is a little bit better, but...
I think so, yeah.
Pick your chapter-specific guy.
For the cost, I think Ragnar is the best option here because the stratagems of this attachment aren't really requiring Calgar.
Yeah.
Calgar is as good as your stratagems are, in my opinion. He's awesome. He's 185.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Calgar does many things. I'm willing to pay 185, but I have to be using all of Calgar's rules to feel like 185 is worth it.
Is he better than Ragnar? Yes. Is he more than twice better than Ragnar?
Depends on your stratagems.
Depends on your stratagems.
There are some detachments where I would happily do it, and this is not one of them.
Okay.
I See, here's the funny thing is with 30 Assault Terminators, that is the point where I want to take the stupid Fear-Made Manifest enhancement again.
Is it though? Like real talk,
It's because they cause battle shocks when they charge.
Yeah, but you might lose. They might lose a guy.
That adds
And you
up.
have to be within 6 inches of the character?
That adds up. I'm not saying we're going to, I'm saying I want to. I acknowledge the points aren't going to fit, so that's going to change it. That's going to solve it for us.
Fair enough.
But that is the point where I want to try it.
I mean, every time you do it, you're going to feel like an absolute god.
Yes. So if we were to theoretically just turn this into 3 units of 10 Assault Terminators, let's just look at where these points are going to end up. And just make another one of those.
Yeah. I mean, they're 370, not 185.
Yep.
It's just, I don't respect regular Terminators. They just kind of
No,
suck.
I'm down for that. I get it.
And the other thing we can do is if we are taking Ragnar, we can take the Space Wolf Terminators. Which have a, like, can I take a Thunderhammer Storm Shield and get +1 to hit against the Oath target?
Yeah. Honestly, that's probably better than Battle Shock. So, hey, how much are Space Wolf Terminators? I think they're the same cost as Assault Terminators. It was 185 for 3, so I believe the points are literally the same.
Yeah, it's would you like to cause a Battle Shock check when you charge, or would you like to have +1 to hit, ignore mods against the Oath target?
Yeah, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
So these are Space Wolf Terminators, just Wolf Terminator. Nope, Wolf Terminator. But the guard was unnecessary. We all know what it is. Wolf Terminators.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well, I think.
This, I think, is, yeah, you do that.
Okay. For my money, that is 1985.
And we also get the question of, do we want Power Fists, or do we want Chain Fists, or do we want Thunderhammers? Because they can all take it. Thunderhammers?
I don't know, I want Storm Shields.
No. You can take those and a Storm Shield.
Really? I thought they took that away in the index.
Let me double check, because I could very well be wrong. Wolfguard Terminators.
Yeah, let's just double check the loadouts and then...
I think what you do in this list is if you have a specific kind of Terminator in your chapter that is slightly better than regular Terminators, you take that. So if you're running Dark Angels...
The Dark Angel ones are worse in my opinion, because they cost more.
You crowbar Deathwing Knights into the list, I think.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, that you would...
Yeah, that
not
you
even
do.
a question.
Okay, so War Gear options. Any number of models can... each have their Power Fist and Stormbolter or Power Weapon and Stormbolter replaced with 2 of the following.
Okay.
Stormbolter, Storm, Combi Weapon, Chain Fist, Power Weapon, Thunderhammer, Storm Shield. Each model cannot have duplicates of Starred and cannot have both a Stormbolter and a Combi Weapon.
Cool. Well, in that case, Xander, you choose, depending on your own personal loadouts, what you want with your Storm Shields. If yours are just built Thunderhammer and Storm Shield, I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, you just call them Wolfguard Terminators.
Yep, just call them Wolfguard Terminators and you move on. Or if you happen to have, in my Chain Fist and Storm Shield, or have them magnetized or are willing to make that happen, I think Chain Fist and Storm Shield, or at least a number of Chain Fists, is super legitimate. Or Power Fists.
And 2 per 10 can take a Cyclone. It requires them to not have a Storm Shield. I think that's fine.
Yeah, if you want to.
They get a Power Fist and a Bolter and a Cyclone, and you're going to do that.
Yep. The War Gear.
Yeah.
I don't even think we need to type it.
I think people might want to know how to do that.
Fair
enough. So.
I do have an idea about the last 15 points, though, once we're there.
Okie dokie.
I think we promote one of those scout squads to a jump pack intercessor.
I was actually going to go a slightly different direction.
What do you got?
And I will propose it and see what you think.
Yeah.
So we are at, here we go, first company. I'm not sure how many points we have left because I haven't been
Yep, we have 15 points left.
15 points on this.
Yep, that is 1985 on the screen.
Okay. You know what we could do? Through the magic and mystery of combining units.
Sure.
These 3 become 2 squads of infiltrators, and we tell our opponent, no shenanigans, fight the Terminators.
You could. That's 210. So we have...
Enough to upgrade to Fear-Made Manifest? Oh, we don't have triggers for it anymore.
Yeah, so I don't want that anymore. It is enough to upgrade, I think, a dude to a captain, which I like captains. Because it lets you do the -1 damage twice, it lets you do Armor Contempt twice. If someone tries to solve you by charging you, it is not going to work. Because you just have 20 Storm Shield guys who pop -1 damage when you charge them.
Yes.
This would be the funniest World Leader counter you've ever heard of.
I actually don't hate this list.
Yeah, it's a lot of beef. You could just do 15 infiltrators and say, no one behind me.
No one behind me, no one to the side of me, no one in front of me. Run up, fight the Terminators.
Sure, for what it's worth, I would rather, I think, have the extra unit because this list does need to score points.
Nah, it's fake.
No, it does. It does. It does. Because sometimes you play against shooting armies.
What?
Yeah, sometimes you do that. So for my money,
So how many points do we have?
we are at 1985.
1985. So we have 15 points, and this would make it 95. We could make that another unit of scouts.
Someone just suggested that we charge 3 units of Assault Terminators into a Catan with Fear-Baited Manifest to kill it, and I love you. It does just work that way. Like, that's where Fear-Baited Manifest is sometimes funny, is if someone just fails the wrong battle shock test, they do just lose their 1 model unit.
Hold
do
on. Excluding monsters and vehicles.
Dang it!
Yeah, there's no shot that Canis
Okay.
Rex is just like, I'm too scared.
All right, never mind. Sorry, person in chat. I love that idea. I wish it worked. Gaming Garrow. All right. Anyways, for me, I would do the jump back intercessors because I want scoring, and I feel like if necessary, you totally can screen people out with 1 infiltrator squad and 3 other trash units. Even though it's more, you have to like actually put down a tape measure, whereas 3 infiltrators, you just say blah, 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 stop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with the list, like, basically as is.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably, personally,
You do the infiltrators?
I do the infiltrators, and, like, can you imagine seeing that across in a Teams environment and just be like...
Yeah, just put down my army of guns.
No, I get that, but, like, I think this could dig into cover and just...
Just try to be there. Yeah, it really could.
But yeah, I think this is perfectly good. I mean, we can upgrade scouts to JPI.
Yeah.
We have 15 points left.
Yeah, that was my
Oh, that was your suggestion?
preference.
Okay.
But I'm totally fine with the infiltrator one. I think it's just a play preference thing.
Yep.
I like having more scory stuff because sometimes, like, the Terminators do move 5 inches. And yes, they can advance and not do anything, and then the opponent theoretically might have to back up. But scoring points sometimes just won't happen.
Yes, I agree. I also think that Thunderhammers probably is not where I want to go. I think it's easy. I think it's probably Chain Fist just so you kill everything.
I would say a good healthy portion of Chain Fists.
Yeah, it would be probably a couple Power Fists, probably 3 Power Fists, 5 with the Cyclones,
Yep.
and then 5 Chain Fists.
Yep, that's fine.
That's probably what I would take.
Yep. Yeah, if I had it modeled, yeah. But I don't think it's so incredibly different that I would change it if I already had them built.
If you have Assault Terminators and they have Thunderhammer Storm Shields,
if they have 30 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Assault, that's the question.
I would be surprised if very many people out there had 30 Terminators with Chain Fist Storm Shield.
I would be surprised too. I consider myself a bit of a Space Marine masochist, and even I don't have 30 magnetized Terminators. That's just too much for me.
Yeah. All right. I actually don't hate this list
Yep.
where it ended up. For First Company Task Force, I'm actually kind of
we go.
pleasantly surprised.
As am I. So we've got 1 list left.
1 list left.
Let's do it.
This one has no notes.
All right, so this is from Cass, and this is a Dark Angel Inner Circle Task Force.
It is. We're back to Terminators, baby. Let's go.
I love it.
There's a reason why I didn't necessarily push to try and make the list around Deathwing Knights and such.
Yep. Okay, we have Azrael, a Terminator Chaplain with Deathwing Assault. Deathwing Assault is the one where you get to Deep Strike turn 1.
I believe you have the app, or you have the codex in your app, so I will not be able to reference rules.
Totally fine. I know the Inner Circle Task Force.
Oh, that's right. You played it a couple times.
I played it several times. I played it like earlier this week. This detachment's pretty fun. Terminator Chaplain with Champion of the Deathwing. That is the one that gives you lethal hits and critical 5s to hit against the objective, because that's what this detachment is. It's pick an objective on Deathwing is +1 to win against that objective and the people on it. Terminator Chaplain with Singular Will. This is the best enhancement in, I think, like Space Marines. It's +3, pile in, and consolidate.
Whoa!
I love that enhancement.
Whoa!
So much.
Hold on, it's 20 points?
It's so good.
That's crazy.
I slap that on the Deathwing on a 10-man Terminator squad every opportunity I can get.
Yeah, because you can't tag an edge.
yeah.
It all fights you, and it takes every objective.
Yes.
It charges, it tags one thing, fights the thing in the next zip code.
Oh no, you pile in farther than you move. It's like, woo! No, it's so huge to this list. Impulsor, Inner Circle Companions, Hellblaster, Deathwing Knight, Deathwing Terminators, 10-man Deathwing Terminator, and 5 Scouts. There are many things here that I do like.
Such as?
Deathwing Knights with Terminator Chaplains, I have found to be very, very good.
Yes.
In this detachment, in other detachments, I have very much liked that.
What does Champion of the Deathwing do again? So.
It gives the bearer lethal hits and critical 5s to hit against the chosen objective. For what it's worth, that is 15 points that we will just look at when the list is final. I assume it's there because this was 1985 and they had nothing better to do. That enhancement is not required.
Yeah, if it's 1985, slap it in. If it's not, then not. What's the last enhancement?
Deathwing Assault?
No, like, there's three here.
The last one. It's a CP generator that's not very good.
And you have Azzy.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No, say no more.
Yeah, it's like a 5-up when you use a stratagem on the bearer's unit, and it's a 4-up if they're on the objective marker. You have Azrael.
You have Azrael.
Move on with your life.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And Deathwing Assault is better against the chosen target.
It's against the chosen objective. Everything on it you are +1 to wound against, and then several of your stratagems become better when you're on.
No, I'm saying the enhancement. It means
yeah. No, Deathwing Assault is turn 1 Deep Strike.
That's pretty good.
But not turn 1 Rapid Ingress.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what stands out to you as an Inner Circle Task Force enjoyer?
10 Hellblasters and Azrael is something I genuinely like. I often put an Apothecary in the unit, but it is not mandatory.
Okay.
2 Impulsors with 6-man Primaris guys with power swords is something that I have used before.
Have you ever considered putting a lieutenant in those Hellblasters?
Yes. It's not bad, and it gives you the fallback, do everything, which is nice. It gives you the lethal, which is nice. That unit is often shooting your oath target. I have no issue with it at all.
Okay, cool.
I think it's quite good. 65 points. The Apothecary is 15 points cheaper, which is the main reason I've liked it. But a Lieutenant is a very valid inclusion there.
Sounds good.
And Azrael also has Sustained. So there's no critical 5s, but it's still just a good combo.
Sustained lethal 6s is solid.
Still really good, yeah.
Okay. So what stands out to you the most?
The Deathwing Terminators, I think I really want them to be Assault Terminators.
Why is that?
It's 10 points to make that unit have a 4th wound instead of Stormbolters.
What? What do Deathwing Terminators? Or Deathwing Terminators are just regular Terminators?
There's Stormbolters and
I can't look at
Power
their
Fists.
rules. Oh, that's it?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Yep, no, that's it. No, those are not Thunderhammer Stormshield. Yeah,
We were just on Wolfguard Terminators, and Wolfguard Terminators get to do whatever the hell they feel like.
There was a new kit released for Dark Angels Terminators, and they no longer do what the hell they feel like.
Right.
Yep. So they lost all weapons.
Got it. So we're at 370.
Yep.
And we have...
I also, for what it's worth, think it's worth having a captain to join the 10-man Assault Terminator, which will be singular Will Carrier, to be clear.
What is the... What strats are there that you can make
Other than Armor of Contempt.
Which is good.
It's 1 CP -1 to wound if strength greater than toughness and shooting.
That is good. That's really good.
That you pop both, and that's what you do.
Yep. The Terminator Chaplain, as Nicholas points out here, does kind of conflict with the Inner Circle +1 to wound.
Why I like it.
It's because you can fight one place, get +1 to wound against that, and fight elsewhere and get +1 to wound against that.
Yep.
But the point is, now you switch one of them to a captain. The captain's unit is the one that goes after the +1 to wound squad.
100% true.
Yes.
You do not want all chaplains for that reason, but I actually do like some chaplains very much for that reason.
Okay, so this is going to be singular will, guys. Let's just separate him out.
Yep, and make him a captain, and I believe that's a 20-point promotion. That I can check for you, although theoretically it's on all.
I'll be able to put that in here.
Perfect.
Okay, so we are going to be over, I think, by about...
We're definitely over at the moment.
30 is my guess. Enhancements, singular will, 20, 30.
Okay, so here there are several things to address here. I think our chaff unit ratio is slightly too light at the moment.
Not enough chaff?
Not enough chaff.
I also see some units that I don't think are going to see the final version of this list. What are those?
So there's two things, and one of them is very obvious. 6-man Inner Circle Companions in Impulsors. For the same, this is painful because these models are genuinely mind-boggling.
They're so good.
They are so good. However, Inner Circle companions are the same cost as a Blade Guard veteran. Especially in an army that is currently saturating people with 4-up invul dudes, I very much struggle to justify Inner Circle companions.
So anytime somebody is like, GW just writes new rules to push new models, just look at Inner Circle companions that were DOA the moment they came out. Like, they are bad. They're not good.
No. In this case, they are not being joined by a character because that's how impulsors work.
Yeah.
Just to recap for you, I will read you what an Inner Circle companion is different from a Blade Guard.
Thank you.
Because some in the chat may not know this. It is the profile of it is the stat line of a Blade Guard veteran, but it's OC2. It has the same heavy bolt pistol. Its melee weapon is the same number of attacks, but it is 6-1-2 lethal instead of 5-2-2.
Arguably worse, arguably better sometimes?
Sometimes. The models are insane. I would genuinely take 12 Inner Circle companions and I would say they have power field generators and move on with my life and play them as Blade Guard. They have Iron Halos, all of them Iron Halos. Iron Halos all the way down. The model physically has an Iron Halo, so this would be easy to justify. Then, there is a sweet profile on the Greatsword that is kind of terrible. It's also 4 attacks, but it's 6-1-1 sus 2.
Sometimes.
Into 1 damage, 1 wound infantry, it is an upgrade. Into anything else, it is not. Next. Its ability is while a character is leading this unit, -1 to hit. It is not, so it doesn't have that. Because there is not a character joining these units.
They're -1 to hit?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And it is +1 to hit against character units.
Wow.
So this unit without a character is the same point. You are trading 4+ invul, your reroll 1s of choice, and a power sword for a great sword that is usually worse, occasionally better. OC2 and
They're
+1.
OC2?
They are OC2.
It's cute.
That is valuable.
The rest of that is like almost a straight downgrade.
Yes.
It's not great. I don't know what price point they need to be to favorably compete. Probably 25 points.
Per model, if there were 75 points, I would genuinely probably take them.
Yeah, if they were 150 for 6.
I think 80 is where I would start to see if they get interesting.
Yeah. 180 for 6 is just not where it's at.
Yeah,
now,
that's the same cost as a Bulgrim.
do we think that we want to... No, I'm not acknowledging that. Do
Come on.
do you think...
6-1-2, it's the same profile as a Bulgrim.
Aren't they 7-1-2?
Bulgrim?
Yeah.
No, I think they're 6. I don't remember. I will remember when I'm playing guard. Today, right now, I don't. If you put me on a table, I would remember.
They're 7-1-2.
There you go. So they're better.
And they can also hit on 2s.
Yeah, I know. So can these against characters. Anyways, I don't want Inner Circle companions.
No, they're quite poor.
If you want them, I will just say that you absolutely can have them, but a Blade Guard is objectively better in my mind, so just take the final version of the list and replace any Blade Guard we have with Inner Circle companions. If Rule of Cool and these models are some of the best Games Workshop has ever made, is more important than my 3-wounded veteran is slightly more efficient.
Yes.
No big deal, just make the swap.
Xander just popped in the chat.
Yep.
And so if you're looking at this, Xander, and you really want to go down the forcing battle shock route, you totally can.
I think you still make them, you just make them all Assault Terminators.
You just make them all Assault Terminators. I will say, you need to find 20 points for this. It's not the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, something will work.
Infiltrators become JPI or something. I don't, it's fine. Mm-hmm. The point is, I think that that plan is worse than just taking units that are better.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to leave into it because, god dang, is it funny?
It's very funny.
Then I think you can, but it's fun.
But like I think once a game you'll kill a model. And it's like...
Yeah, you'll get 2 across the game, I think. Because the Pulse will get another one. Like another singular model for a CP and an enhancement.
That's not ideal, especially a 30-point enhancement.
Yeah. From here, I think I want to cut one of those 2 Terminator Chaplains, specifically the Champion of the Deathwing.
Just entirely, or?
Yeah, I don't think the second 5-man has to have an enhancement.
Okay, fair enough. Do we want to replace the Inner Circle companions, or do we want to delete them?
I think a 6-man Blade Guard veteran in an Impulsor that can jump out and get +1 to wound against objective is a great objective clear, and I like the 4-pin Vuln Saturation that we're currently doing.
I also like how they don't need Oath in the same way that the Terminator Chaplain unit does not need the +1 to wound, because they reroll 1s to wound for themselves, or 1s to hit, sorry. I played 2 squads of 6 Blade Guard vets in Impulsors in Righteous Crusaders for a little bit. It was legitimately pretty solid. It was just a solid unit.
I played several games of Blade Guard veterans and Impulsors. I ended up cutting them, but they were not at all bad. I would say 1 Impulsor of Fun Tricks I think is worthy, and then we look from there.
Also, Blade Guard veterans are cool.
Again, an Inner Circle companion with a small rounder shield on it would also be awesome, or just saying, yeah, man, they have Iron Halos. It's a 4-pin Vuln.
Yeah, the TO said I can run these Inner Circle companions with Blade Guard.
I think that would be completely fine.
You cannot do that if you are running your Inner Circle companions, but luckily I have a solve for that problem.
Yep.
Are we?
I think 1 package is enough, just because we need to find the points to fit more stuff in.
Okay, I do want more like. I do like the concept of overwhelming with threat saturation.
I have a solution.
Does it involve another unit of Deathwing Knights?
Yes.
Oh, I love this. I love this as a plan.
Not another character.
Just another unit of Deathwing Knights.
Yep. Because the Terminator Chaplain unit deep strikes on turn 1. And that is spooky. Doesn't Ingress on turn 1, but you know what? Sometimes you go first and you're just like, oh, I'm going to just deep strike it behind a wall on your expansion. Die.
And then we have a Blade Guard unit, so we might as well take Ragnar.
No. All right, what are these points at? Because we definitely have some left, but I don't know how many.
We have 25 points left. No, sorry, Impulsor to get cut. We have 105.
I thought we had more than that.
We have 105.
Infiltrator squad?
I mean, yeah.
Right? That's just what we do here.
That's just what you do here.
Yeah, okay.
That's just where we're at. And you.
Oh, did you promote that? No, yeah, we have the captain. He's 95 with singular will?
No, I didn't update that. He has 115 in this.
Totally fair, but that's already accounted for in the 105 left?
That is already accounted for in the app.
Totally, okay, good. I was about to say, there's no way that's 95. All right. Yeah, I would just add an infiltrator squad.
Yeah, infiltrators to hold your home field, scouts to do mid-board stuff, and then the rest of it is pain.
Yep.
I don't think we need this Blade Guard Impulsor unit, but I really could not figure out what to put in there instead.
If we were to cut it, in my opinion, it would be for a second scout unit.
Okay.
And an amount of guns.
I see. I like this better.
Okay. Doesn't have to be a ton of guns. The benefit of the guns is you can take things like Eradicators, which are relatively independent, or like 1 Interceptor squad for more secondary play and a more killing a thing in a corner. Because I really like a Bolter Interceptor unit.
Yeah,
to just say, oh, you left 5 scouts screening out your backfield. All right. Ba, 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 ba.
Well, it's also that you can rapid ingress on an objective if your opponent doesn't point guns at it, which they might not want to do.
For what it's worth, when I changed my Inner Circle list, that is what I cut them for. Was I wanted a little more skirmishy play the mission. But
do we want to do that? Because I'm down.
I was trying to leave because I don't think we have cast in the chat here. I did want an Impulsor in the Blade Guard just because that was a major component of the original list. And one of the things we do here in Fix My List is we try not to just ground up write a new list in the detachment. So I wanted to leave it in for that, but let's just kind of present the alternative. We currently have 5 points left.
That's correct.
So if we were to cut a Blade Guard veteran squad and the Impulsor, we have 265, which means we put in the Land Raider Redeemer. Wait, I mean...
No, I like where your head's at, actually.
I think that is actually what we would do.
No, I think that's what we do.
You just put 5 Deathwing Knights in it.
Because if you're looking to overwhelm somebody, guess what? Land Raider Redeemer does that pretty good. You could also go to 200 and have the unit of scouts, and then or not, because 130 takes you to 135. You just include 2 squads of Inceptors.
I was going to say 1 Inceptor and 2x5 scouts. So then we have 4 mission play units.
That works.
And 1 Bolter Inceptor squad just to have another thing to think about it.
My impression is 4 mission play things is more than this list necessarily needs, but it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, it's because someone holds the backfield, infiltrators. Some things go out early to score cards, and then I like having cycling reserve stuff to score points.
But I think we can both agree, Land Raider Redeemer.
I think you have 3 equally valid, depending on what you want, Redeemer. options.
What kind of redeemer you want.
Depending on what kind of redeemer play you are, you could have an impulsor redeemer with 6 blade guard redeemers inside, or you could have 3 assault bolter redeemers with 3-inch deep strike and jump packs,
And some
then
scout
you
redeemers?
get 10 scout redeemers as well.
That start in midfield. 10
Yeah.
redeemers that start infiltrate 9 inches from your opponent's deployment zone is really
It would
scary.
take a while to paint, but I would be willing to do it.
I would do it.
All right.
For sure.
Yeah, I think you can close out the list in any of those ways depending on how much you want to stick to use your companion models as something versus do you want the tank, do you want the things? You've got options.
It turns out Marines are actually really good at spending 260 points.
They really are.
260
Is
points.
my favorite number. When I see 260 or 130, I'm like, oh, the list finishes itself. Easy.
Right, 2 squads of Inceptors, 1 squad of Inceptors, 2 squads of Scouts,
Redeemer.
Impulsor Blade Guard, a Redeemer. There's a lot of ways to finish
so many
it.
ways.
There's so many ways to finish it.
All right.
And 265 is just like, what if 2 Infiltrators and unit Scouts? Like, there's so many ways to do
options.
that.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
That, I think, is where we end the list.
That, I think, is where we are.
And that also means it's time to end the episode. So if you enjoyed this, as always, make sure you like, leave a comment, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is the best way to both help us out and support us. And that part's free. And also gets you notified every time we go live, because we do go live several times a week, to share wonderful 40K content with you. If you want to get even more wonderful 40K content, make sure you subscribe to The Worm. There's a link in the description below where you can get a free 3-day trial to catch all of our content. That's 2 extra coaching matches a week. That's Know Thy Enemies, the vaunted Jack Theory, team strategy sessions, whatever you can imagine. In addition to our amazing Discord community, you can find it in The Worm. So go there, and you know what? By becoming a member of our communities, it'll even get you in our Discord. If you think, golly gee, I'd like to submit a list for next week's Fix My List, which do you happen to know the topic?
Not off the top of my head.
It's Gas Space Marines.
Oh my god! Oh, that's of course it is.
Yep.
Codex
So if
just
you're
dropped.
willing to take the next step after enjoying this Dark Angel list, well, next week is Codex Chaos Space Marine Fix My List edition.
All right. Well,
All right.
that I think is going to be very exciting.
I believe so. Thank you so much for watching this, everyone. We hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye bye.